Today is the 21st meeting in the league between Northampton and Gloucester, and we'll be covering every single minute. But before we do, let's just have a look at the historical record between the two sides. Out of the 20 meetings, the West Country team have proved to be the more dominant, having won 12 to the Saints 8. At Franklin's Gardens, however, the record is more balanced, with each side having won 5 times, yet to be a draw. Home advantage, though, has been a real factor this season, with only the champions Leicester having come here in the league and won. Will Gloucester, many people's champions-elect, be the second side to do so? Let's find out as we join our match commentators, who are Stuart Barnes and Miles Harrison.
Well, the Northampton chairman, Keith Barwell, says this is a game the Saints must win if they are to be serious championship contenders. Gloucester come here as league leaders, but they expect, Stuart, the sternest of tests.
Yeah, I think this could be a titanic tussle today. When the two teams met in November in the wet at Gloucester, it was a really big game. Northampton lost 18-9. But they felt they could have won that game, and I can tell you they are smarting for revenge. Not just to get revenge on Gloucester and move closer to the league leaders, but to cement their position right up there in the top 3 where you've got to be come the end of the regular season.
The Northampton side is deprived of a few key men. Andrew Blower's injured in the cup tie at Edgehall Road, and Ben Cohen injured in the warm-up to that match. Rob Hunter and John Slightholme are the men who come in, and with Matt Dawson and Mark Connors longer-term casualties, then the home side know that this is far from their first choice lineup, but youngsters like Ian Vass and Mark Soden have advanced their skills and experience over the last few weeks, and they will be expected to deliver again today. Gloucester, having rested a number of their established players against Exeter in their cup tie last week, bring back halfbacks Andy Gummersall and Ludovic Mercier. Phil Vickery is also at prop to captain. Rodrigo Roncero stands on the other side of the scrum, with Trevor Woodman still out, back in training though. Marcel Garvey and Tinas Delport are the wings. Peter Buxton's beef gets the vote over James Forrester's individual and fast developing style in the back row. Northampton have Matt Stewart on the bench. He's been absent since November when he injured his rib playing for Scotland. And for Gloucester, Darren Malloy is there. He's part of their squad on loan from London Wasps, but for how long, in view of the injuries to props Craig Dowd and Andy Kershaw in the game which we saw at Adams Park yesterday. And that match propelled Wasps back into the frame. They're 4th, Northampton pushed back into 5th place. 12 points behind leaders Gloucester, so the outcome of this match could create a 16, possible 17-point gap should Gloucester win between these two. But maybe Northampton have already given up the ghost for the top spot. They're aiming for a place in the top 3. And here come Gloucester, unbreakable at Kingsholm, now about to enter the home of Northampton, which also has a unique big match atmosphere. This is a sellout. And Gloucester, having made the early season running, know that the major tests are still to come. And this is a prime example of what they will have to face over the coming months.
This is a real old Heartlands traditional rugby fixture. 2 of the great English names in history. And it's good to see both Gloucester and Northampton vibrant at the moment. I think this is going to be one heck of an 80 minutes or so. Northampton, they cannot afford to lose this one. They've got league momentum. They must continue to build it.
Northampton in so many ways similar to Gloucester. Starved of domestic trophies for so long. Both have had their recent glory moments. Northampton winning the Heineken Cup. Gloucester the Zurich Championship final last season. But they want consistent success, even dominance. That is the size of their ambition. We saw John Phillips go through the picture there. Butch Pountney leads, but Phillips will lead out Northampton to a terrific noise. Phillips already on the pitch. There comes Pountney with the rest of the team. It's Phillips' 300th game. And the others now follow.
John Phillips, of course, once with Gloucester many years ago. He's a real old warrior. He was a fine player for Gloucester. He has been a major stalwart at Northampton, and he wouldn't have wanted any other opposition than Gloucester for his 300th game.
Made his debut in the 1990-91 season. And how different this ground looked then. Always created the noise, but now with the modern look as well. And Steve Lander back in action to take charge of this Zurich Premiership match. International official, of course. A match between two traditionally strong rugby clubs with the desire to become the best in England this season, and with Leicester's stuttering form, that is a position looking increasingly vacant. It will be Mercier for Gloucester. Pitch looks heavy. They had a game on Boxing Day on this surface, and then it rained straight after, and it had very little time to recover. And Nick Beale puts in his first thumping kick of the afternoon. We were watching him in practice about an hour before kick-off. He is one of the biggest kickers in the top league, and it seems so effortless.
Great power Nick Beale has, and I tell you, he's in good form. Against Cardiff in the European Cup in Wales recently, had a superb game. Northampton are holding the line in midfield. Beale is picking the angles from fullback. He could be a major player today. And this is a key area as well, the line-out. Olivier Azam, Steve Thompson, two of the toughest hookers around. Battles everywhere.
Azam going to the front. Buxton had made his way to the front of the line-out. He's a big man in that back row, alongside Paramore and Bohr. They've been scoring so many tries between them, those two. The numbers 6 and 8. And there's the first penalty.
Number 6, back feet.
Number 6 is Rob Hunter for Northampton, who's standing in for Andrew Blowers.
5 times I told you.
We talked about the Gloucester forwards, the shape of Bohr and Paramore scoring tries, but the rest of them as well. Right the way through the pack, an impressive try-scoring tally. And Jake Bohr leading the way with 7.
Well, it's not just the power of the Gloucester pack, it's the dynamism when they're at their very best. Now Marcel Garvey stretching Northampton's defence, going all the way across. But early on in these conditions, you'd expect Gloucester, with Gomersall prompting, to try and drive just like this.
And it's a good drive. They're rolling forward. Look at the threat here. Northampton in all kinds of trouble. Fiddler joins in again. Paramore leading the way, wanting one more shove. They've got it. Oh, what a start. Azam. He scores, but the forwards again take all of the credit together. Gloucester lay down their marker in such a strong fashion.
Oh, that was so powerful. See the tail end of the drive, but that's gone a full 20 metres. Roncero on the left, on the right shoulder, and Azam delirious with joy. This is a game that means so much to Gloucester. To beat Northampton away would almost put them out of sight. It would put them, I think, home and hose for a top 3 spot. But that is an imposing start from the visiting pack.
And now Mercier with the conversion. Difficult one. Made to look easy. The leaders out of the traps. And they've already completed a lap before Northampton have started the race.
What a conversion from Ludo Mercier. I don't think there's going to be any sign of complacency in the Saints team now. They're in a game.
Taken by Bohr. Gomersall. Mercier. Soden trying to get there. And was never convincing about that. Was always struggling. And the bounce of the ball, a kind one for Gloucester.
Well, Mark Soden didn't control that. To slice from Mercier, you know. And I felt Nick Beale perhaps could have come forward for that. He went back, he left his number 8, who drifted back to deal with it, and Soden didn't. And now pressure on Steve Thompson, the England hooker. Got to find his man.
Which he does. That man was Steve Williams, the Welsh international. And numbers at the line-out is a free-kick offence. And here's John Leslie. He's been in good form lately as the Northampton backs have started to get themselves going.
Don't hold on to the ball in the tackle, get out of the way.
Today.
Quick ball, please.
Or indeed Matt Dawson behind the forwards. Penalty.
Northampton have always had the individuals behind the scrum, but that hasn't really translated into the shape and structure. What they're doing now is starting to play some patterns. But the Northampton backs perhaps might need to be very sharp today, because the Gloucester forwards look rugged and determined.
9 caps for Steve Thompson this year. It's the one loss in England colours against France. This is Leslie, formerly of Scotland. He announced his international retirement in April. Has gone forward. Vickery still makes the tackle though on the floor just to make a point.
Good idea, but Rob Hunter's pass clearly a metre forward to Steve Thompson. And Mercier just sliding, you can see, back and forth, keeping the Saints guessing.
Let me call it.
Of course, they've got the use of Mercier's left boot, and Henry Paul often uses the right. Quite a lot of space behind Bruce Rehana.
That's a slip, I understand. Just keep it up on this side, please.
There are some difficult areas on the pitch which to form a scrum. The referee acknowledged there that the forwards were slipping, but that time he sees a free kick offence against the Gloucester front row. So here's Tom Smith for Northampton. Smith versus Vickery, Lions props. Dropped by Jorgensen.
Come back to the knock-on.
Phil Vickery down at the moment, and a bit of concern here on the Gloucester bench.
Yes, they were calling for the medical staff straight away, and there's the clash.
Well, that looks like initially as if it could be a concussion there. Tom Smith just drove low, no problem there, and he just, of course, being a short man, he caught Vickery. And Vickery felt that.
A man who's led his country with distinction already and is tipped by many to be a regular future England captain. But he's not sure where he is at the moment, whether he's in England colours or Gloucester colours. He took a blow to the head.
But it's the Scotsman Tom Smith here, just ducks into the tackle, purely accidental there, but you can see Vickery's in trouble even before he hits the deck. Gloucester certainly would not want to lose their captain so early, and I'm pretty certain Vickery wouldn't want to be going off.
Darren Malloy is the replacement. He's on loan from Wasp, as we mentioned earlier. Wasp might need him back with their injuries yesterday, and of course Gloucester meet Wasp next weekend, so that will be an intriguing one to sort out next week. But the one that the Gloucester coaching staff have to sort out now is whether Vickery stays on, and Vickery has made the decision himself.
You can be certain now Tom Smith will attack in the scrum.
And he'll need monitoring. He certainly put a shove in. You could see it on this side, right down in front of us. He didn't hold back. It says so much about the man.
And there you saw the Gloucester game today. Aggressive in the scrum, and Mercier raking that boot.
He's slow getting across though, isn't he, to the line out.
He's taking his time, yep. He's very groggy at the very least. But in the early part of this game, Gloucester controlling territory and keeping the Saints under real pressure. And again, Thompson finds a very good line out for her. That's 3 early ones.
Through came ball. Whistle has gone.
No, too soon. 6. Offside. Back feet, please.
Explained by the referee. Just a bit keen there. Which is not a bad thing to be keen, but of course you're right on the edge of the offside line. Disappointing kick from Grayson, very conservative.
Well, it is, and it can't be the wind, because you've seen Nick Bill boom 150 metres already. I just think Northampton haven't started well, and they just want to get some ball and find some patterns, but they've lost that one.
To Mercier. He was quick up from fly half as soon as he saw what was happening. And Jake Ball, what a battle on the floor he's going to have with Poutney. Good ball from Fanalua to Fiddler, then Delport. Tinas Delport, the former South African fullback, but also international wing, and he's on the wing again for Gloucester today, where he's found himself the most part of the season. Short ball from Todd to Ball, who sets it back. Leslie was on the wrong side. He was trying not to play it, or at least making out that he was trying not to play it. A free playing advantage. Delport again. This is Buxton taken high. Cornwall. And the original penalty infield.
This is a fine start for Gloucester. Really good start. They're controlling the ball well. They're playing the soft conditions. Mercier's boot driving them where they want to be.
One other game being played today in the Zurich Premiership. It's between Bath and Harlequins. And I think they started at 2:15 in that one. Good start for Bath. And the match between the side lying 11th, that's Bath, and Harlequins in 7th. This is Northampton 5th against league leaders Gloucester. And we're showing us all why they're top of the pile as we end the year. It's for a 10-0 lead.
Well, we saw Alex King and we saw Tim Stimpson missing sitters yesterday, but no repeat from Mercier. And still, and Phil Vickery is still, you know, being treated.
He's staying on. There are one or two members of the Gloucester coaching team or medical staff who are shaking their heads, but it's Vickery determined to stay on. And after that start from the forwards, a try from Azam, of course Vickery would still want to be part of this. Mercier. It's gone very high. It's taken by Slightholme. There was already an offence.
Well, the Gloucester forward, you know, have got Northampton under all sorts of early pressure. Dean Ryan will be delighted with the way his pack have started.
Vickery is now being ordered off. And on comes Malloy. Technically goes down as a blood bin to see if he's all right. I think that's a wise decision to take that out of Vickery's hands. And there is Darren Malloy.
Comes into a team surging forward. Tom Smith going forward there, and Vickery. That's where he takes the blow and goes backwards, but it's the only time so far Gloucester have taken a backward step.
Azam fired that one, but it was Vass with the pass. And then Ray Harnett. Vass again to Grayson. Yes, Jorgen, somebody found Bill. And he found the car park.
Nervy stuff from Northampton there. Did well to steal ball on the Gloucester throw, but you felt the way they're playing at the moment, Grayson was going to fire that one down for territory. Excellent work from Steve Williams and a good pass from Vass. But the siege still not lifted.
Not straight.
Not straight, says the referee.
Not straight. 15.
Well, I think that was a planned move out of the Northampton line-out book. You remember the little underhand throw that unlocked Leicester's defence at Welford Road, I think. That was at the dummy and then the low ball, and it just fell out of Azam's hands.
And talking of Leicester, they're the one side to win here in the last 9 matches. They won in November, but of course Northampton reversed that, famously ending the Leicester 5-year unbeaten run at Welford Road at the end of November.
Catch and hold.
The result would show that Northampton are moving in the right direction under Wayne Smith.
They're not moving in the right direction at the moment today up front, though.
Not in this match.
Get away, Red!
They are meeting the country's best at this stage of the season. Here's Budgeon.
Get away, Red! No hands, no hands!
Grayson, good break. Now, could this get Northampton going? Times the pass to Slightholme, but he just overstepped it. Had they got the combination right there, it would have been a score.
Well, the key is Grayson's playing so flat, little show and he's away. It's not a good pass though to John Slightholme, is it? It's behind him. And you feel if that had been a flat pass, and perhaps Slightholme, in fact, got a little bit shallow on it, Slightholme with his pace would have raced in there. A chance goes.
Now Slightholme defends. And who came back from a long injury layoff. Henry Paul. Beale. And Paul had chased well. Buxton was with him. Ferocious start from Gloucester. Fiddler got the ball. And Jake Ball was there too. Henry Paul in the thick of the action where he likes to be. Azam over the 22, Gummersall. Intense pressure here, Delport. Northampton being pushed to the limit defensively, but they've stolen it themselves. And Tom Smith finds his man. Here comes Pountney to Grayson, and Eastham speedsters. Leslie. Rehana fits the bill. Garvey, wonderful tackle. Pountney in support. Terrific passage of play there. Smith's got it again. Hunter. Can Northampton finish? They need to secure quick ball. It's been slowed down. Pountney. What a tackle that was from Garvey. Nick Beale. And a penalty. But it was so nearly a try.
What a wonderful counter-attack. Tom Smith was so quick all the way at the other end of the pitch. Ball breaks, look at Smith there. Times the pass beautifully. Northampton know it's got to go to the speedsters. The missed pass, Rehana steps inside. He thinks he's going for the line. Garvey in with a great tackle, and Slightholme was free there, but Bruce Rehana thought he was in. Marcel Garvey, well, he made the great tackle. Fiddler, he had to give away the cynical penalty, and he's got the yellow card.
10 minutes in the sin bin for Rob Fiddler. Grayson puts the ball out, and Northampton will try to do to Gloucester what Gloucester did to them. And of course Gloucester are manned out.
8v7, you're quite right there, but at the moment the Northampton pack, even with a man over, have been really struggling.
Thompson to Phillips. Closing the gaps. Taken quickly. Phillips in his 300th game. What a popular scorer he would be. But it's out to Grayson. Must make something from this. They will, Leslie! Northampton right back into this match after a slumbering start. John Leslie scores his third Premiership try of the season, and arguably the most important so far. Because at 10-0 down, Northampton were tottering.
Grayson flat, and John Leslie comes from deep, picks the angle, superb.
Simple for poor Grayson. And the Gloucester lead is cut right down to 3 points. Good finish. And you could feel the anxiety building in the stadium from the Northampton fans. They were wondering when their side would come awake. Well, that turnover deep inside their own half seemed to spark them into life. Here's Beale, and then Soden.
Well, it's the Northampton backs that have been lacerated in their running line so far against the power of Gloucester pack. Great first 20 minutes to this match.
Another penalty,
Can't
though.
do that. Taking men out. Here,
Obstruction.
number 3 coming through, taking men out.
Against Chris Budgeon.
Penalty count is really hurting Northampton at the moment. So 3 of those well-earned 7 points could be taken away here, because Mercier looks very good. And this try wasn't bad either. Just watch this. Grayson very flat, the Gloucester line being held there, and then suddenly from nowhere John Leslie through the darting line, play it flat, come late, off your angle. That is a high-class score. It looks simple, good tries are.
And Mercier misses with the boot. So the match has turned round.
It's that sort of Premiership game when the crowd are cheering, missed kicks and errors from the opposition. It's tense, it's tight, it's exciting.
Still Gloucester have the lead.
But the stranglehold has just been broken. Northampton can see some light now.
And the whole mood of the match has changed, courtesy of that try.
No hands! Wait there.
Here's Todd. Difficult man to put down.
And Pountney's work was brilliant there.
And he turned him.
It was brilliant from Pountney.
Vass trying to get the ball out, and he does. Gloucester very close to offside as they came forward there, but no time to dwell on that as Slightholm finds Jorgensen inside. And we have a different Northampton. It's simmering.
Don't tell me how to referee, thank you.
Vickery about to come back on. And the news from the bench is that the management would have preferred him to stay off, but he insists he's okay.
Not the sort of man you're going to argue with. This is brilliant from Bud Pountney. Todd shakes off Grayson. Look at Pountney there. Legitimate tackle. He drives one of the strongest centres in the Premiership back. And Mark Soden, he's in really quickly. Ball turned over. But then all the good work undone by yet another penalty conceded by Northampton. It's hurting them like hell at the moment.
Zam throws. That's Buxton, signed from Newport, had to wait for his chance, but taking it now. Mercier, missed pass, finds Fanalua. Privileged to be captain in the cup tie. Didn't quite believe it when he was told. Shows his humility. Taken by Tom Smith. It's a series of turnovers this match, and it makes for exciting stuff. Down goes Phillips. Ian Vass, the man who stepped in for Matt Dawson when injured at Welford Road, did very well, finds Grayson onto Beale, and then Jorgensen. He's got Ray Harner chasing this, and Henry Paul with pressure on. It's a well-judged kick, and here's Grayson. Soden carries the ball well. So does Phillips, finding Slightholme. Good step from Slightholme, and then he's dumped on the floor. Thompson, that's the halfway line. We now have a contest. Vass, Grayson. Tom Smith involved in everything.
He's not a prop forward. He's a total rugby player. And look how flat Grayson is. Questions being asked, and Gloucester having the answers that time.
Pouring through in midfield. It was Beale's turn to feel the heat. And there he is again. Over the top they go. And it's awkward. Well taken by Gummersall. Slightholme was quick, but Gummersall was cool.
Crowd booing because they thought that Henry Paul, after he was deceived by the bounce of the ball, just checked John Slightholme then and allowed Gummersall the time to grubber it out of harm's way. Slightholme put the pressure on. There, Paul makes the mistake. Point there, but Gummersall, classic scrum half covering.
I think Paul knew what he was doing.
I think he did.
That was Hunter. Again, the crowd unhappy on that far side, but play goes on. It's Grayson with the chip. Now is he taken out? The referee is unmoved. Grayson again. Ray Harner. Learning all about the top of the English Premiership.
I tell you what, Gloucester have the power, but Northampton are starting to nick an awful lot of ball on the floor.
Vass to Grayson. Again, he was so flat, asking all kinds of questions. But again, Northampton giving away a penalty in a critical area of the field for holding on.
Holding. Stay on your feet, you're not. Holding.
Well, you can see Gloucester conceding turnovers, and that's why Northampton are coming right into this game.
You're on it.
But the penalty count is why they're not coming into the game to the extent that they've taken the lead.
Let's go.
About 2 minutes left on the sin bin for Rob Fiddler. Now, was this a late challenge? Yes.
Well, Phil Vickery certainly, albeit accidentally, ran into him, and that should have been a penalty. Should have been a penalty.
There was also a bit of a trailing leg as well. Not from Vickery, but from the player in front of him. The Gloucester pack, -1, still looking strong. Azam, he's worth 2.
Well, Gloucester want that ball in the subterranean world of the tight. They don't want it to see the light. Northampton want to put width on it. There's another penalty coming here.
Side.
Steve Lander will not be influenced one way or the other by the boos and jeers. As the crowd give him the bird, he gives Gloucester the penalty. Another one for going in at the side.
Very difficult for Bud Pountney at the moment. The fact they're conceding so many in the tide is because they really, when Gloucester get that ball and keep it, it's so well protected that they're worried a bit. I think psychologically that first try, you know, when they drove them 20 metres has worried Northampton, and they're fringing and they're panicking, and it's giving Gloucester a chance to just build this lead.
And Rob Fiddler is back on the pitch. And he's won a couple of caps for England. His father won 2 more.
Very interesting. Henry Paul is kicking for goal. We saw Ludo Mercier took a bang earlier, got a lot of strapping on, and he's hobbling heavily as he goes back over the halfway line. So Henry Paul now has the responsibility, and that could be significant later on.
Well, of course, Paul in his own right is a fine kicker, but he missed that one. Came back for Jake Ball, though. Paul with the pass. Here comes Mercier. No limp this time. Paramore. And nearly got the ball away despite that hefty challenge.
Going forward. Scrum, green ball.
Well, Northampton were a little bit slow here. It's not a very good kick from Henry Paul, but you have to react when it hits the post. And the Northampton pack stood like sentries there and allowed Jake Ball to take that ball. And great pass from Henry Paul gave Gloucester quite a position.
Too long. Engage.
Big shove from Gloucester. And Northampton scramble the ball off the floor.
That is great work from Mark Soden. Great work from the young eight.
In Vass. And this time Northampton get the benefit of the referee's whistle, and Rehana took the ball away to find Thompson, and there might be something to be created here. Nick Beale. And still Fanalua grimacing and making the tackle, only just. Players having to give everything that they've got, and it's still only the first half.
This game is fizzing around on the margins of something that could end up special. It really is quite a match.
Vass with the kick. Henry Paul.
Good decision from Vass then. Nothing else on. Pokes it down there. But look at this, the confidence from Northampton after getting pummeled in the scrum. Lovely passing. They're pulling those passes backwards. And I must say, Nick Beale's running lines and timings, excellent there. He bought time for his men, and then Vass makes a fine decision with this kick. It's power against pace and ambition here. It is a fascinating and a fabulous game.
Thompson, and that's well taken by Cornwall, who got right across the Northampton line out. And what a contrast this match is to the game played here in April, when Northampton won by 58 points to 21. They crushed Gloucester that day. Gloucester, of course, went on to win the end-of-season championship final, but what a different Gloucester we have this season.
Well, how about this? The chink in the armour of Steve Thompson. Cornwall rises so high, and Ludovic Mercier punted that ball 50, 60 metres.
Thompson to Williams.
That last scrum hurt Northampton, didn't it? They're trying to work it, but Gloucester, they're the equal to anything being thrown at them up front.
Just starting to get things moving, though, here, Northampton. They'll have to keep it moving. Now it's with Vass. Grayson. Powell. They were ready for that one. Vass again. Slighthome boots the ball downfield. Paul keeps it in. Did he have a foot on the line?
Well, how about that for a chase from Nick Beale as well, though? And this is a tremendous fight back from the Saints after a very sluggish start.
The end result isn't greatly different.
Popular call, that one. Popular call.
In terms of distance from the Gloucester line, but of course Gloucester now throwing in. Over the head of Mercier. Pountney's tackle. This will be a 5-metre scrum.
Quarterback fumble, and then he's sacked. You make an error here, they're coming for you. And this is quite some error. Rob Fiddler solid. It isn't a good pass from Gomersall, but then Mercier doesn't get any chance. But what a scrum from Gloucester.
Look at that response from Gloucester.
Get away, leave it!
But again, Soden picked up so well.
Jake Ball got that back for Gloucester. That was as good as Pountney's play earlier. Down in the dirt, but the charge down, and it's all happening down on that Gloucester line.
This game has got so much wide with running lines, and yet in the nitty-gritty area, the back rows and co are fighting hard. Look at Steve Thompson. Great pressure from the England hooker.
Can Northampton get the ball from this scrum?
They've got to look for a channel one strike. They can't play it slow at the base. Soden's doing really well, but he's on the back foot all the time. And considering Phil Vickery, look, concussed, well, this is an astonishing fight back against a very powerful scrummaging Saints front row.
They've got to remember how they scored their try.
Get up and get on with it.
Cornwall's gone down injured.
Get up.
Get up and get on with it, says Steve Lander.
The referee doesn't believe him. Northampton supporters don't believe him.
Crouch and hold. Engage.
Gloucester early with the shove, and that's a free kick. Pountney. 2 metres short, if that.
Back.
Gloucester remain tight on the fringe, they'll have to.
Get on side, Red.
Penalty for offside.
That's gripping, isn't it? Gloucester trying to slow it down at the moment. They're on the back foot now. Northampton, having been hit with an Azam knockout early on, didn't go down for 10. They're up, and now they're jabbing, punching their way back into this one.
They were down by 10. They've got it back to 10-7. And are threatening now, just before half-time, to take the lead. Thompson to throw. To Williams. Trying to hand it to Tom Smith.
No hands.
And it's stolen by Azam. Lost their organisation there, Northampton.
Wait there.
Or maybe we should say Gloucester disrupted Northampton to that point. Mercier already charged down. Works some space, very well indeed. And clears with that hefty boot. Up towards halfway. What a clearing kick that is.
Brilliant play from Mercier.
Too long.
Well, you can see that Northampton, for all the power of their forwards, don't score that many. Only Bath and Bristol have scored less. And you do feel that the way their backs have been going, they fell into a trap there. They got close to the line and they're almost sucked towards it. And Gloucester have got such strength that they hold out there. And they nick another line out of Thompson. That's 3, I think.
They played to Gloucester's strength.
Yeah. I think against Gloucester, to really stretch them, you've got to start moving that ball and get these big forwards running around the park. And I tell you what, see, when you play touch lines, you're in danger, because Mark Cornwall's up there with the best when it comes to line out magpies. And here is Cornwall, not for the first time today. He beats Steve Williams on a legit throw.
Warning there for Roncero, the Argentinian prop, who wants the translation.
Major concern for the Saints, this area of play, the scrum.
Free kick. As referee Lander loses patience with Roncero and Azam.
Wait, please. You're taking far too long to crouch. These two in particular will not crouch. I want to see them crouch and hold when I ask.
We are not ready.
Too long.
And Vickery as captain arrives just to see what it was all about, what it was against Roncero and Azam. And here's Vass for Northampton. To Smith. Grayson.
Get away, Red! Get away!
Down in the mud. Smith again.
He's having a hard time in the set piece, but he is a human dynamo around the paddock.
Grayson. It's meant for Rehana, who's got in behind Garvey. And the ball's still bobbling around. Picked up by Jorgensen. Rehana.
How'd you go, Red?
Here comes Vass. Leslie. only had 2 outside, and Gloucester had the numbers in defence. It was a fair decision from Leslie. There was certainly no overlap. What about this way? Grayson to Soden. And the referee decides it was knocked on.
Certainly knock on. Then clear ball in the centre.
And Gloucester just about survive again there. Now, Northampton should have kept going open there because Gloucester had an awful lot of defenders there, and the initial knock-on was a Northampton one. It then rebounded off a Gloucester one. But Dean Ryan and Nigel Melville, after a very, very satisfying first 15, know their team are in quite a scrap now.
Tell them 3 minutes.
And a very, very satisfying start to the season as well, but they will know that nothing is won yet. The hard work, the really hard work, is all still to come, and they're there to be shot at. With 44 points at the top of the table, but still plenty to do.
Well, the really hard work might just be the next 40 minutes. This is quite a game.
It's a match which could shape the rest of the season for both sides. Here's Beale. Slight hope. Trying to get outside Fanalua and can't.
Get away!
He does hold on to the ball. And there's Soden, who's had a good first half in a scrum that's been going backwards.
Get away! Clear a ball.
Once more, Northampton told to roll away and clear a passage for the ball.
Roll away, 9.
Keeping you in touch with what's happening at the Rec between Bath and Harlequins. And there it is, 16-3 at half-time.
It's possibly the shoots of a recovery at the Rec after some time in the doldrums.
Delport with that kick. Everybody having a go.
I think it tells you, though, that Mercier isn't right. But look at this, I mean, Gloucester having to make the tackles after their very powerful start, almost twice as many as Northampton. But that's because Northampton actually don't have anyone to tackle, because Gloucester are going forward as one great big tank, not as individuals. And they'd like to move this one tank-style forwards.
It was Fiddler with the catch.
Stay there.
It was a good initial wall of defence from Northampton, but they're tested again.
Get away now, no hands, no hands.
Buxton making sure it's coming back on the floor. Glos quite happy for the ball to stay tight, but he shouldn't have been, because the accidental offside gives Northampton this put-in.
Another scrum against the head.
Creating the turnover, Fanalua. Henry Paul nearly through.
Get away now.
Azam.
Get away now.
Gummersall. Mercier. Can they finish this one with Paramore? No is the answer as he drops it. But the referee had already seen a penalty offence, which is for offside.
Yes, you.
They have to take the 3 points. In a match now as tight as this, they have to make sure that they go away with something. You see there Henry Paul was asking Mercier, is he okay to take it? Paul would love an extended run, kicking for goal, a job he did so well in rugby league. But Mercier in front of him. Maybe for a while they were taking it in turns, weren't they? But that's really satisfying for either player.
Well, I guess you don't miss the one Henry Paul missed and then say to a kicker like the Bludo Mercier's calibre, I'll have the next one. Mercier says, no, I'm not going to miss this. Half-time beckoning, 3 points.
There is half-time, and the 3 points in the bag. Gloucester getting the final score of that first half. They got the first one as well from Olivier Azam. part cancelled out by John Leslie's try for Northampton, and what has been a pacey and bruising first period in this critical Premiership match. Stuart.
Pulsating 40 minutes. Gloucester really dominant in the set.
Franklin's Gardens, this is what Zurich Premiership Rugby is all about. 6 points the difference in this match between two of the best supported teams in the nation, and a match living up to its billing, ebbing and flowing end to end. Impossible to say which way this one is going to go. Let's hear now, though, from one more than interested spectator, because Ben Cohn is talking to Graham Simmons.
Simon, thank you very much indeed. Ben Cohn, where on earth were your team for the first 10 minutes of this match?
Well, I think it took us 10 minutes to get our confidence and getting our belief in ourselves, but after that I think we were creating quite a lot of opportunities. But when we get to the crucial part, we end up turning over ball and not converting any of that pressure into points.
You think you should be close? So what, you're 6 points adrift at the moment. Do you think your team should be close from the chances you've had?
Yeah, I think when that man got sin-binned, we did the right decision and try and drive him over for a try, but in hindsight maybe we should have gone for points, but we are putting a lot of pressure on it. Then they're turning us over, and we're not converting any of our points into pressure, which is pretty disappointing.
As inventive as your team are being with the ball in hand, Ben, how are you going to win this game if you don't sort out the set piece? In the set pieces you're really struggling.
Well, I can imagine what Wayne's saying in there now is what we're saying. Secure a ball, no 50-50 passes, and when we get into their halves, let's not be silly with the ball and throw it about and try and convert some of that pressure into points.
Thanks for your time, Ben. We're back on with the action. Thank you. Enjoy the second half. Miles and Stuart, all yours.
Thanks, Graham. There's Budge Poultney knowing that in this second half his side can't win the match without set-piece security. They've got to improve in that area, and Phil Vickery will look for Gloucester to continue the dominance in that part of the play.
Well, what a leadership Vickery's given. By all rights, you felt he shouldn't be on the park, and he's playing superbly. And as well as Tom Smith doing in the loose, in the tight, Vickery is answering some doubters about his scrummaging. Gloucester are torrid.
There's Gummersall. Northampton could do with the first score in this second half. Grayson drilling this one forward, but only as far as Henry Paul. It's set up nicely for him, and that is a cracking response from Paul, even admired by Grayson as he went past.
And the first man to the line out, Phil Vickery, really storming around the park today. And it was a superb kick from Henry Paul there. Percentages just right. And now the pressure comes back on Steve Thompson, who hasn't had things his way in the first half, but that's good ball.
Mr. Hunter, and this is Leslie. And there's Budgeon. No changes by either side at half-time, by the way. This is Thompson. Offloading to Tom Smith. The loose in the first half was, Stuart says, very strong indeed. Grayson tries the other way this time to stretch Paul across the field. Looks for Garvey, who made that tackle back on Ray Harner. A memorable one. Just an attacker. Marcel Garvey. And a good pass from Gummersall to Mercier. And the inevitable result after Ludovic Mercier gets hold of it. His boot gets hold of it.
Boom time. And Gloucester will be pretty content if Mercier and Gummersall can control the game and play deep in Northampton half and ask questions of Northampton, although Northampton got a few answers of their own so far.
In the recent meeting at Kingsholm, it was 18-9 to Gloucester. Budgeon, realising he wasn't going to get there, tried to hack it on. No knock-on.
That's another turnover.
And it's Gummersall who retrieves for Gloucester to Mercier. Slight home. Beale. Didn't have the time he wanted there. He was lining himself up to whack it back upfield, but the chasing from Gloucester was good. And that's what they've achieved.
It's a very good punt with the ball when he's got a lot of time, Nick Beale, but When the pressure comes on, he does tend to slice. And Gloucester chasing.
We've talked about the King's home record, but of course here at Franklin's Gardens, mostly things go Northampton's way. Not so today thus far. Grayson was scrambling, and so was Vass. This is Garvey. And still Marcel Garvey. Just couldn't get away that time, and in fact he comes back to Soden. Referee playing an advantage to Northampton.
Well, they've got men here.
They've got Beale and Slightholme, and picked up by Delport, so advantage over Mercier. And Pountney seemed to go in at the side there. That was cheeky. But he got the ball. The ends justified the means.
If you get away with it, they do.
Grayson was never going to get that. It fell to Soden. Again, he's finding himself being pushed back, as he was for much of the first half. He did well in adversity. But it's Gloucester now with a chance. Mercier to Todd. They'll want to finish this. Paul. Northampton desperately getting men across in the nick of time. Here's Azam. The overlap that seemed to be emerging all of a sudden evaporated. And it's Northampton who have a penalty.
Well, let go, please. OK. Oh, yes, you can. There we go.
Should they have made more of that, Stuart?
Well, this is one of the weaknesses of the Gloucester team. They get good opportunities and they don't really make the most of it.
You have it, you're on it.
Grayson will kick the penalty. And Northampton have got out of jail or been released by Gloucester.
Well, look, two defenders there from Northampton, but no one from Gloucester here really fixing the men and creating that wide space. That was the problem. Henry Paul doesn't hold, the man before doesn't hold. Half a chance goes. Half a chance is converted, win your games at this level.
And champion sides take half chances.
Oh, this is a good riposte again.
Thompson. Vass. Hassled into a poor pass. Jorgensen.
Still advantage.
Grayson. Slightholme is going after this. Paul needs to put the pace on. And he swivels away from Slightholme. And in the end does very well. But Slightholme will be asking a few questions of himself. Should have made that tackle.
He'd be very disappointed. It was a cunning kick from Grayson. It was so good that the advantage was used up. And Steve Lander got it quite right. Slightholme had to chase his man down. Didn't do it.
Once again, it's Gloucester who get in and get across in the face of the opposition at the line-out. Mercier.
I just wonder, you know, whether England hooker or not, Wayne Smith will be thinking about Dan Richmond, because Thompson's having problems. Here's John Slightholme. Should really have known Henry Paul had 5 metre pressure, let that one off. Now Thompson having real problems. He's got to find his man. The primary possession, so important. Just of a sort.
Phillips to Soden.
Hands off, Fred, hands off!
In goes Thompson. And the referee gives the penalty against Gloucester.
Let go.
Hands on the ball.
Good call here. John Leslie was talking urgently with Grayson. Grayson looks up then, almost towards Wayne Smith, as if to say, boss, what are we doing? You just see. Bit of a chat going on.
Two England front rowers involved.
I don't want anything going on off the side there. What's your problem? All right, we haven't seen it. Let's play the game. OK, thank you.
Vickery stepped right past the referee, left him behind and went over to Thompson to have a word to sort out the situation himself, and Steve Lander didn't like that. Naturally, he's the official.
Go through me and I'll sort it.
Over the years, an incredible scoring record.
It's history. It doesn't matter. What matters now for Paul Grayson is this kick. It's an important one.
At that time, history and experience let him down. He can draw on an awful lot, Paul Grayson, on his career, but he failed with the much-needed 3 points there for Northampton.
Often happens, you know, when a kicker doesn't say, right, I'm going for goal, tentative, and he doesn't strike it. Grayson was in two moods as whether to go or not, and he never really hit it with conviction.
And so often when a player moves forward and says, I want it, it goes over. Now Grayson, perhaps rattled by that, has then clattered the ball to the other end of the field, and of course that now, quite rightly, it's a good law. There's a scrum all the way back from the Northampton 10-metre line, the point where Grayson put boot to ball.
That's a pretty horrible error there from Paul Grayson.
Whoa. Crouching hold.
Paramore, in comparison to Soden, having an easy ride at the base of that Gloucester scrum. And of course that set-piece control allows the halfbacks to dictate, and Gummersall does just that.
And for Gloucester, the touchline is a friend at the moment because they've got control of the line-out battle, and Gummersall knows that. It's Northampton who want the ball fluid and alive. Gloucester can play those 5-metre channels. Every time Northampton throw, you wonder, will they win their ball? That time, yes.
In the shape of Williams. Steve Williams, signed from London Irish, where he performed so well last season. Ian Bass will go hoarse if he shouts much more. It wasn't a very good kick from him, and very high. There's no questions of the Gloucester back three at all. Here's Gummersall now to Mercier, lines up the drop goal and fires it through. Great snap on the kick from Ludovic Mercier, and Wayne Smith sees Gloucester get this first score of the second half.
Smart play from the fly half. Tight games, take your chances. Just seen Grayson miss a penalty. Mercier says, no problem. It's not the greatest drop goal of all time, but it's 3 points. And a useful lead.
But it was meant to look like that, wasn't it? He wanted to fire it through. He wasn't going for the flash, anything showy. He just wanted the 3 points. And he drilled it. Nick Beale hoists this one on Henry Paul. Grayson getting across and the ball stops for him. Ray Harner. Vass. Grayson. Leslie. He's one of the best at that. That short pass doesn't hang around getting the ball away, and Jorgensen found Slightholm, who again suffers from a hefty challenge. Tom Smith happy to slip in at fly half. Pountney happy to go centre. Pountney powers on. Good pick up from Thompson. Almost up to that Gloucester 22. Northampton trying to get men there as quickly as possible. That's Phillips. Vass, Rehana, Jorgensen, Grayson, Soden, and still Grayson again. Pountney, good control from Northampton. Can they finish off the move? Thompson. They've got the post and the line in sight now. Referee's got his arm outstretched and he's given a penalty. The ball wasn't coming back. And this could be worse than a penalty for Gloucester. It is. Roncero. And remember when Rob Fidler was in the sin bin in the first half, that's when Northampton scored their 7 points.
And Paul Grayson will be mortified if he doesn't take at least 3 here. That was a really good phase to play there. Heard Ben Cohen say when we get in territory we must keep ball. It wasn't turned over that time. There you can see Moncero's right arm, he's off his feet, he's holding the ball. That's why yellow cards were brought into the game. There was a lovely touch, you know. Grayson just kicked that penalty where Paul Grayson was going to go wide with the kick. He looked up, it wasn't on, he checked, held it, and he kept that attack moving forward. It was a lovely piece of play.
It turned out to be a good dummy in the end, as he shaped to kick. Northampton about to make a change. John Slightholme will be coming off, the man who replaced Ben Cohen. And Slightholme's replacement now in this match is young James Brooks, who seems to play in every position. So that's a penalty apiece in this second half. Well, 3 points, I should say. Drop goal from Mercier, wasn't it?
Well, I tell you what, Nick Bill again sliced that kick, but Steve Thompson and James Brooks had plenty of space and he didn't look up. It's a horrible kick, but there were men outside, and Northampton have shown the capacity to attack from deep. It wasn't just a bad kick, that was a really poor decision from Bill.
And Beale's form of late has been one of the major reasons why the Northampton backs have got moving.
Move away, both of you.
Yeah, that's right.
Move away.
But a lot of it has come from centres holding the line, Grayson playing flat.
As Beale hitting the line, as Fanalua tries to there. Gummersall and Delport. Took 2 to stop him. It's Phillips and Leslie. There's Mercier, again it's the dual tackle.
Thompson's got him there.
Now Pountney's got it. And here's Hunter. Budgeon didn't take it. It was not a knock-on. Did well to pull out. It's a poor pass from Vass. Picked up by Leslie. And this will ask a lot of Ray Harner. But he did well in a tight spot. And it's Jorgensen up the touchline. Chipping through, but charged down. It was a good idea. Ray Harner was pointing there.
And that was brilliant from Bruce Ray Harner. It was superb from Ray Harner, but Gloucester wanted to go quickly.
Whistle's gone. They'll be called back. Delport's not heard. Nor's Garvey. Having a game between themselves. I don't say he's pulled a hamstring. That is desperate.
Oh no.
That really is unlucky if Marcel Garvey has to go off now.
This is brilliant though. International wing, Bruce Ray Harner. Lovely little touch there, and he's so aware. Vickery's there, Jorgensen a show and a go.
Matt Stewart's coming on for Chris Budgeon. Stewart back after injury. Hurt his ribs when he was playing for Scotland in November. There's Chris Budgeon. And Tom Byme is on for the unfortunate Marcel Garvey. He's gone and pulled a muscle when playing on while the whistle had gone.
It's so unnecessary and so unlucky.
Thompson. Grayson. What a tight spot. Byme to Paul.
I tell you, Northampton have got another problem at the moment, and that is their scrum half. Ian Vass's pass is deteriorating under pressure.
When he came on at Welford Road for Dawson in a live game at the end of November, He had an awful first 10 minutes, didn't he, and came through that, showed great character in a very important game for his club. Gone the other way for him today.
Well, he's on the back foot, isn't he? Gloucester are pouring through on him, and he's just hurrying his pass.
It was Thompson who gave that pass, and it was Gloucester who were offside.
It has not. They're offside. They're jumping, coming through the line and just
Confirmation
waiting.
of
They've got to
that
step
change
back a
by
bit.
for Garvey. Excellent from Grayson. Had to get inside the 22, and that's what he did.
Now it's up to Steve Thompson, who himself is just starting to find his man again. Key line of attack, key point, hooker's throw in, scrum half's pass, and get that right, they're in the game.
He's back with Vass. Can he rediscover his form? He had no chance to pass that time. He went back into the forwards, and it's lost, and it's Paramore to Bime. Oh, that's high from Sodin. And it's a yellow card. No mistake, it was a high tackle right round the neck of Bime.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, no doubt at all. He realised as soon as he made the tackle as well. Bime down at the moment, that is a yellow card offence. And that, bad news for Tom Bime, very bad news for Northampton.
I've dealt with that. That looked a lot worse than it was, although it was nasty. Okay, go through
And once again, Northampton are just not able to guarantee the sort of quality ball they need at set piece to unleash their waves of attack. They're struggling, really.
Right smile there from Phil Vickery. As Steve Lander said, that looked a lot worse than it was, although it was nasty. Degrees of nastiness from Steve Lander. This is Bill. And a chance for Northampton to counter as Rehana found Jorgensen, who got that hat-trick against Orrell, and how his side needed him in the cup. An amazing cup tie that Northampton were involved in a week ago.
There it is. Let it come. Wait there.
Now their main diet, the Premiership, and how they need a win in this match to convince themselves that the top three should be theirs.
Got no number. That's a pull from the ground. I've got no number. That's a pull from the ground.
Got a penalty.
Hey, are you the captain? Thank you very much.
A right shake of the head there. And Gloucester conceded 4, which is an awful lot better than their first half performance. Northampton, none. Good discipline. But Gloucester's defence is excellent, isn't it? That's been a feature. Northampton, they're losing at the moment, but they're playing like a top 3 team. The problem is, in many facets of game, Gloucester look like a top 1 team.
Gloucester won here only once in their last 4 visits to Franklin's Gardens. It was a tired-looking line-out from Northampton. Vass. Grayson.
Get away.
Hasn't fully got his pass back, has he? Has another go at the scrum half. And it was Hunter who was inside. Vass again. Through the legs of Tom Smith, and now the big boot downfield. It was turn and chase for Nick Beale. Brooks is with him. Beale kicks, but this should be a counter. Azam, though. Sloppy piece of play.
I'm not certain that went backwards. Well, Olivier Azam, I don't think he's furious with the referee. I think he's furious with himself because he allowed a contentious decision to be made. Hits the hand there. I think that goes back and then it bounces back to him. But Olivier Azam is very annoyed, you know, because he knew he shouldn't have risked playing it.
You can see why it was given a knock-on. Let's say that. Premiership ladies from Bath, 23-9 now. And they kicked off 15 minutes before us.
Crouching hold. Engage.
Let's get darker earlier in the West Country. That's one for the Gloucester pack, and we've said that a few times this afternoon.
Well, the sun has not been shining in that Northampton scrum.
Straighten it up. Hold. Down the middle, please. Much better. Still in.
Gummersall. And then Mercier to Brooks. Rehana. Jorgensen. With Delport. Here's a good line from Rehana.
He can play rugby, that guy, can't he?
He's rangy and quick and awkward to put down. Grayson. Thompson. They're battling Northampton. They realise they're not at their best, but they're still in this match. Grayson again.
Oh, Henry Paul should have gone for that ball to mark it.
And now he's running it back. Oh, he can't take it back over. Gummersall.
That's terrible play from the full-back.
Well,
I just don't know what he was doing there. Now he's shouting at others, but Henry Paul got that all wrong. It was there to be marked, you know, if he'd have come forward for the ball. He wants it to go out. There, 16-10 up, you put it down.
he's almost checking what he can and can't do there. Roncero's back on. So Gloucester back to their full complement. That allows Buxton back onto the field and Malloy trots off.
The Gloucester have just sacrificed a good position here to the Saints.
Here go Northampton. The crowd trying to push them over. 15 minutes left. Thompson trying to work in at the back. And the referee gives a penalty. Now what do they do? What do they do?
3 points.
Have a smile first, is Ian Vast's solution. And then Budge Poultney says yes, 3 points. Still plenty of time.
Tension building, but still both teams playing. And the shape of this game is now set, isn't it? Gloucester want to keep it tight. They want Mercier to fire long balls. And you know, the best we're seeing of Northampton is when they're counter-attacking, and Rehana bailed them out there because there was a loose ball on the floor and he swept onto it and created a second wave.
Grayson through. Everybody said it would be close, and everybody is being proved to be right in this intense struggle here in Northampton. Rehana coming more and more into the game. Will he have the final say? Which player on this field will write the final chapter? 3 points now between Northampton and Gloucester in this compelling match. Grayson's kick didn't get the distance. He was on his wrong side.
Thought about running, didn't he? First of all, checked, moment's pause, and then Gloucester were on him.
Adam Eustace is the latest player to join the fray. Rob Fiddler says, go on, you do it. You finish off the job.
Well, if Gloucester hold out and win this one, this will be a magnificent result for the league leaders.
There is a great togetherness about this Gloucester squad. Rehana ships it on to Grayson, who just gets the ball away. Here's Henry Paul. Plays this one. And finds his touch.
Key moment again, you know, Rehana was under tremendous pressure in the fly half position there, and his hands got it away, and Grayson, just as the snap of the Gloucester tackle came, fired at 60 metres, and Northampton somehow get into Gloucester territory.
They've got him for 2.5 seasons, and they will want to get the best out of him. And on this evidence, his Northampton career is building very nicely indeed. Wayne Smith knew all about him.
Well played, so because that was not a good throw, that's a marvellous recapture of the ball.
Leslie. Vass. At one point, Northampton had Howard, the replacement scrum half, off the bench, and Vass was teetering on the edge of being removed from this match, but he's regathered his form. Taken quickly by Northampton. Beale. Good step. And good strength.
Yeah. Northampton need to keep the ball in hands. They can stretch the game, they've got a chance.
Grayson. Brooks. Popping up on the other side. Pountney and then Grayson. Well, he was blind throwing that one, and Hunter onto the back foot. That was well rescued. And they managed to keep hold of it. Of course, Pountney was there. Rehana.
Oh, Vickery was there for that one.
Well, they've seen enough now. They want to snuff him out. Good play from Smith to Brooks. Northampton streaming up after this, but Gloucester scrapping the ball on the floor, and they've got a penalty.
It was sweet play from Tom Smith to create the space for Brooks, but he was accused and penalised for holding the ball on the floor. It was lovely play from Tom Smith. Little show of the ball. Look at that. Little dummy, a check. Wonderful pop pass. And Brooks has real pace. He goes down there. I think that's a good decision from Steve Lander. For once, apparently, he wasn't there.
Surdon coming back out of the sin bin after his high tackle on Tom Bine. 10 minutes left, plus any time that referee Steve Lander decides to add on. It's one of those games you don't really want to end as a neutral. Both sets of players having to work so hard. Mercier. It's Beals.
It's a great mark from Nick Beale.
And now he's got the time. He could hit this in long, long way.
And he sliced it though. His kicking game has rather fallen apart.
Disappointing from Beale. This is Bine. Beale tries to make up for it with the tackle and the turn on Bine, and the boots are going in, and Northampton get the penalty.
There's a big hand there. I think it's Mark Soden. Rob Hunter involved, that's for sure as well. Great tackling on Tom Bine, span him round, and that's an important turnover, isn't it? Instead of Gloucester having the ball and Mercier driving it deep, Grayson has the penalty, and Northampton have a line out.
And Grayson has gone for the corner and got it. Absolutely terrific from Paul Grayson.
He's gone for broke. What a kick.
That really is a player who backs himself when it matters. And that was his experience coming to the fore. He went for that, and he found that corner. It was through the eye of a needle. And Thompson throws. And Gloucester pull it down. And Northampton have a chance to level the scores.
More, clear more.
It's a winning position. I think Northampton, though, can get level with a kick and then come back. That's what they believe. Grayson can't miss it now. It's his excellent, excellent punt that gave them a chance to level it. Henry Paul
Right.
tries to bat it away, but that's a fine kick.
Yeah, you're right.
Will he complete the job?
So Paul Grayson, the Premiership's leading scorer. pulls it. And for once in those situations, Grayson loses his rhythm and control. Well, you would have backed him. But there's still plenty of time left in this match. Mercier. It's Ray Harness. What a fine second half he's had. What a fine game. And driven on and driving himself on. Grayson.
Good show.
Vass. Northampton need to keep their control. And Grayson lost it kicking at goal. As a team, they need to maintain their discipline, but they've lost the ball, and here's a chance for Gloucester to break away. It's Todd. And Beim is flying after this. Jorgensen will need to make it. Well, in the end, the ball beats both players, and Jorgensen is mightily relieved, because Beim was scooting up that touchline.
Cutting him down, wasn't he, for speed? There's Bruce Rehana. Perhaps not as quick as Beim, but a good footballer. Northampton on the attack, but they turned over ball. It's been brilliantly done again from the Gloucester forwards. And a fine decision there to put boot to ball territory, so important.
Thompson for the tail and finding Phillips.
Credit to Thompson, when he's been asked questions after a difficult 40, he's had some answers. He's done well this half with his line-out frame.
And he's not been looking for the easy option either. It's drifted forward. Beale tried to mask that fact, and Andy Gummersall's got hurt. An important 2003 he could have just around the corner. Matt Dawson out injured at the moment from Northampton. And Bath have beaten Harlequins 23-9 the final score, so reasons for Bath to celebrate at the end of a difficult year for the club. That will give everybody there a lift. And if Gloucester get this, what a lift it would give them, and what a lead in the Premiership table.
I think if Gloucester hold on here, they're drifting over the horizon. Well, powering over the horizon. They're not drifting, they don't drift in Gloucester at the moment. Phil Vickery, he is no drifter.
It's more like a tank over the hill, isn't it?
Stay bound, stay bound, stay bound!
And there goes that Gloucester pack again. It's Gummersall's decision to pick the moment. They didn't have to in the end, as the referee brought the scrum to a halt. And look at the ground made. If they can do that again, they're almost at the try line.
Hold, engage.
And of course there's clock counting going on here. Gloucester have the lead. Mercier's got a drop goal on him. Gloucester counting the clock, smashing. This is perfect, isn't it, for Gloucester? They're just eating the seconds. And you can be certain Mercier is ready to use that left boot. The singing, swinging left peg.
He was ready that time. Unfortunate for Gloucester that the whistle went, and the referee had to blow once the front rows had collapsed like that.
Step back. Step back. Hold. Engage.
Mercier waits.
Stay down.
3 points between the teams at this stage. But for how long? In comes Vass.
Let it come.
Gummersall to Mercier. Not one of his best.
Stand back. Or 22.
A kind understatement for you there, Miles. Not all the fly halves have spared your tongue. Ludovic Mercier. Well, looking at it again, I think your understatement is rather cutting. That was a poor drop goal. And it just keeps the Saints in it. You can see there, Grayson has had an awful lot more ball.
There goes Soden. Vass, Grayson. Delport needs to get back because Rehana's coming. Paul needs to get across. There's Rehana. Indecision from Paul.
There's a knock on.
Yes, the flag is up, but it could be a scrum.
There was a knock on by Henry Paul there.
Steve Lation is nodding. He was asked the question by Steve Lander. And the referee gives, quite rightly, the put into Northampton inside the final 2 minutes.
How about that for tactical kick from Paul Grayson? Brilliant kick. And you get the sense against Gloucester, 2 minutes to go in the 22. It's got to be a clean strike, and it's now or never.
Crouching hold. Crouching hold. Okay.
Soden stopped in his tracks. Can he get the ball back? It's coming back to Gloucester. Oh, what work from the Gloucester forwards. Sheer delight for Gummersall, the scrum half. And quite rightly he applauds the likes of Paramore, who made sure. Jake Bohr in there too. But Northampton were turned over.
But again, the tight five are just squeezing Northampton when it most matters.
Absolutely, setting up the position. And once again, if Gloucester win, it will be the forwards that have seen them to victory.
Tight five. They've really got the better of the Saints today. Northampton have missed Blowers, but Blowers has been playing on the front foot for a month or two. Today, the Gloucester front five would have made it even hard for the New Zealander because they've really shaded the tight battle. Now, they've not shaded it, they've dominated it, but Northampton, they're not through yet.
It was Leslie's run. Now Vass. Charging run from Hunter. There's Phillips. Vass again. Jorgensen. And Paul has called for the mark this time. And Gummersall says, take your time.
Pretty poor kick there from Peter Jorgensen. Northampton couldn't afford to let that ball out of their hands. There was a bit of space.
And he did take his time, didn't he? Running the clock down, Henry Paul. Now Northampton have the ball to throw into the line out. Their chances now will be few and far between. This could be the last one. They scored that try from Leslie from close range, and go Gloucester again. They've stolen the ball like they have done all afternoon.
That's the story of the game. Northampton not able to get enough set-piece ball of sufficient quality, and Mercier gets the ball that, by all rights, should have been in Grayson's hand.
And now Northampton are a long way out.
How close are Gloucester to victory here, and perhaps an impregnable position at the top of the Premiership. I know it's early to say that, but this has been a doughty performance from the Gloucester pack.
Down from Phillips, but it was slapped back, and it's poor ball for Vass. And now it belongs to Gloucester.
Again.
So too the points, probably. Gummersall, this could be it. This could be the final play. Mercier. Northampton have one last chance. Beale. It's got to be something dramatic now as Grayson releases Rehana for a little bit of space. 1 metre to be exact, as Gloucester make those tackles again. It's a penalty though.
Keep it in play.
And it's the last play of the game.
No. No, you can't.
Well, that's some record, isn't it? Gloucester defensively sorted out by Dave Ellis.
You're on it.
Vass
Almost. But as soon as there's a chink, Gloucester just close that wall so fast.
But there have been too many almosts for Northampton in this second half. Can they do it right at the end? Fanalua for Gloucester. This ball needs to go out, and they have the match. But Delport says we'll go for the try. Nick Beale. Well, that's game. Poultney. Brooks. Vass. Well, this would be memorable. Jorgensen, Leslie. And still. Thompson. Well, is the impossible about to happen? Vass. Grayson. Brooks again. Beale realises he can't kick the ball away now.
And that touchline is his enemy.
Taken by Azam, who seeks the touchline to take the points and end Gloucester's year right at the top of the table, and by some. Gloucester sit proudly and powerfully at the top of the Zurich Premiership at the end of 2002. And they know what a big win this is at Franklin's Gardens. We saw the reaction of Dean Ryan, who's come sprinting from the stand to be with his team. Those supporters have followed their side again to victory. And Gloucester let everybody else know, and we already knew, but they hammer home the message that they are the side to beat when we go into January.
Northampton went into the match, the form team. They played some wonderful fluid rugby, but the power of Gloucester's packed too much. Great lead from Phil Vickery, but the man of the match, the French hooker Olivier Azam, spearheaded the team with a try, carried it out at the end. From first to last, he was a dominant personality. His scrummaging immense,